Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com, and today we're going to be looking at Seiko Presage models. Back in the summer of 17, a few months ago, we did a video on the 6 USA releases for the Seiko Presage models in the USA, 4, cocktail time-ish looking watches, and 2 open hearts. Today what I wanted to do was kind of show you that, well, there's more to Presage than just those cocktail time watches, or they call cocktail time because of the SARB 065, which has since it's announced it was discontinued. But that watch kind of inspired a whole thought of cocktail time, and a lot of the USA models emulate that. But there are so many other models, Japan domestic models and international models in the Presage lineup that don't look like the cocktail time. So I thought maybe just a little quick video to show you, hey, there's more out there. There's more to Presage than just cocktail time. So before we get to the video, I'll do my own wrist check. No Seikos today. It's going to be, it's a Bambino day. This is a Gen 1 V2 Bambino with the rose gold marking. So Gen 1 means, give you a little bit of education. Gen 1 means no hand winding, no hacking. V2 because of the Roman numerals. And then on the other wrist, I'm wearing, I had this one the other day, the Yes Cosmos. Pretty slick watch. You can see at the bottom there, or what you would call the top probably looking at this, the moon phase indicator. And I guess the moon is almost all dark, so we're coming up to a new moon. And like I said in the other video, it does moonrise, moonset, sunrise, sunset, 24-hour time, all these other functions. I'm going to go over it in another video as a watch and learn that I got percolating up here for this watch and similar watches to it. Anyway, let's check out Seiko Presage watches. So today what I'm going to do is show you 4 Seiko Presage models. I wanted to show you that the line is more than just the cocktail time. If you go to the video I did a few months ago that I talked about, you'll see that there's 6 watches in the Presage USA lineup. All of them are reminiscent of the cocktail time, which is the SARB 065. What I really wanted to do was show you that there's more to the line than just cocktail time watches. So the world has known about Seiko Presage for a long time. It is a subset of Seiko watches. They're generally considered higher quality watches, better movements, better materials, better fit and finish, better dials, etc., etc. And every Presage has 3 elements to its DNA that Seiko, has really started to push lately. If you go to the Seiko Presage website, it's got Spron alloy, hairspring, and mainspring, and the hairspring is what gives you the beat of the watch, and the mainspring is what gives you the power reserve of the watch. So they're using Spron, which is a Seiko proprietary compound, metallic compound. Every movement that they use has the magic lever, and you can't see it, but the magic lever helps the watch wind more efficiently. Basically, if you rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise, it's a bidirectional winding. Seiko pioneered the magic lever. It's now in, I'd say, almost all of their movements, but it's certainly it's present in every Presage that they sell. And the last element is Diashock. Maybe in the past you've heard me talk about KIF or Inca Block shock protection. Diashock is the shock protection for the balance, and maybe later on we'll zoom in and get a close look at that. The first one I want to show you is this one here. It is certainly a Seiko Presage, as the tag says. It is model number SPB061. It is a J model, signifying it's made in Japan, but all Presages, as far as I'm concerned, are made in Japan. It's powered by the 6R27 movement, which is like the 6R15 that you've heard me talk about before on a lot of the other watches. Hand winding automatic, hack, second hand halt, 29 joules, water resistant, anti-reflective sapphire crystal. So we'll go through all the specs of the watch, and then I'll show it to you, and then we'll pull up the other 3 and do the same for it. So it is 41 millimeters in diameter. It's 13 millimeters thick, so it's a really nicely sized dress watch. From tip to tip, it's going to come in at right around 47 and change millimeters. So it's a nice size dress watch, even though it's 41. Maybe that's a bit bigger than most people would consider a dress watch, but it still wears very well. So let's pull in on the dial and check out the detail there. So when we pull in on the dial, you can see the dial really pops to life. Beautiful patterning. It might be tough to see what's going on with the hands and the numbers. The numbers are like silver applied, like they're a silverish color. The hour and minute hands are white. The seconds hand is silver, and then the subdial hands are white as well. They're not luminous at all. There's no glow in the dark. It's a dress watch. We have a date or offset date subdial down here that will advance once a day around to 31st and then keep going around. And we have a power reserve meter over here at the 9. And what that will do is as we wind the watch or as we wear it, that needle will move closer to the 40. And then because this is powered by a 6-arm movement, it's got 50 hours of power reserve. So after the 40, there is another tick for the 50. I see at the top the Seiko name is applied. Just really, obviously really well done. Something that you would expect from them. I don't think I mentioned price. This one comes in around $700. Beautiful bracelet. I mean, look at the links. I know you can't feel it, but you need feel-o-vision. The links are just, when I do this with my finger, just luxurious. There's no clink. It's almost like it's fabric. It's amazing how they put it together. It's got a beautiful clasp, double push button. You see these push buttons signed. Well done, all machine. So now that we've got the back, we've got it opened a little bit. Let's try to zoom in on that gorgeous movement. So you can see now I've zoomed in, and the rotor engraved beautifully, Seiko Time Corp. The 6R27, 29 jewel movement, Japan. Balance wheel spinning away, and then in the center of the balance wheel right here, you see the red jewel or the ruby, and that is where the Diashock shock protection is all happening. Made in Japan on the case back. Just a really wow. I mean, look at that. Look at the rotor. Look at the finishing. There's not much left. Even if they put a solid back on it, they would still finish it just the same. It just really looks really nice. It's 100 meters water resistant, as I said. It's got a push-pull crown, so you pull it to set the time. And when you pull it out, the seconds hand stops. You feel free to set the time, set the date, whatever you got to do. Like I said, on a full wind, it'll last about 40 or 50 hours. So let's put this one down and pick up its brother. So now coming in at a little less in the complicated scale is the SPB063. Still one of the Presage watches, you see there. And then there's the tag. This now has the 6R15, which is an excellent movement. It's, one of Seiko's, I guess, higher end, if you will, base movements, a regular three-handed movement. Hacks, 23 jewels, water resistant, sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. So now we've got blue hands, beautiful white dial, which we'll zoom in on in a second. Black numbers, just this one I really have an affinity towards. The price tag on this one is about $100 less than the other. This one comes in around $599, and it retains a lot of the same characteristics. It's 40.5 or 41 millimeters in diameter, just about 14 mils thick, and right around 47, 48 on the tip to tip. You saw it was again sapphire front crystal, a see-through case back, anti-reflective sapphire, which is important. You can see it in my studio, even my studio lights. It's tough to get a real hard glare off of it. And it is a 20 millimeter lug. If you want to replace this bracelet or the bracelet I showed you with a leather to, I guess, dress it up more, if you're not a fan of this silky smooth bracelet that I apparently am just fondling, then feel free to go ahead. But this is the regular 6R15. Date movement, pull it out, 2 clicks, you can set the time, 1 click will set the date. Let's do what I like to do. Let's pull in really close on the dial and see the detail. So there you can see that nice tuxedo striped dial, beautiful blue hands, man, black numbers, no loom again. That's okay. I don't want loom. I don't need it. That's a knockout. That is a total knockout. Wow. And then we can flip it over and do the same thing with the movement. Similar movement. The 6R27 is based off of the 6R15, so they are very much alike. You can see the rotor. These now sport the 6R15D, which is the latest version of the 15. It was the C for a few years. Now it's the D. But you see the nice polished stainless steel case. It's the whole package. This one I really like. The black dial, I like the functionality of it, the power reserve meter. This one, I dig the dial. That dial is awesome. So let's go to another one that's got another, what I would consider another knockout dial for a different reason. So now we are at one of the SARX models. This is a JDM model. You can see it's got Japanese tags on it. SARX 019. Flip it over. Presage. And the price tag 80,000 yen, which, depending on what the exchange rate is, around $800 retail. We sell them for a hair over $7. But you can see the specs there. 6R15 again. The daily deviation rate plus 25 minus 15, which is really super conservative. Maybe if you read kanji, you can make out the rest of it. I can't, but I pretty much know what it says. It's the 6R15 stainless steel case, 40 millimeters, 13 millimeters thick, exhibition case back, AR coated or anti-reflective coated sapphire crystal. Nice, beautiful blue. I don't know if you pick it up in the camera. This blue strap. It is actually croc or alligator. I forget which one, but it is a genuine animal material, either croc or alligator. I think it might be croc. Water resistant to 100 meters, and true to Seiko fashion, the deployment buckle is at the 6 o'clock, which is contrary to everything that we do in every other watch brand. But hey, who cares? It still is a knockout. So, you know what I didn't give you? I didn't give you the tip to tip on the watch, did I? The tip to tip is, again, right around 47, 48. Tip to tip is a dimension that when I remember, I try to have added to the listings on the website because I think it means a lot to a lot of people. It tells you about the size of the watch and how it may lay on your wrist. But so what makes this watch different or spectacular? Why is it 700 and change, besides the exotic animal strap? Well, let's get on the dial and take a look. So I don't know even if the camera can pick it up or, maybe you won't even know it. It is an enamel dial. So it is a laborious process to make the dial. Something, a bit of pride. I mean, you could just stamp a dial and paint it. But this is enamel. It's brushed on. It's baked. It is expensive. It is laborious. It is an art. Beautiful Roman numerals. But it just gives you an effect, and enamel dials kind of last forever, almost like a coffee mug, I guess. That baked on finish doesn't really go anywhere. But that's kind of what makes this watch, a little more special than others. It's that enameling of the dial. You can pick up a slight dome on the sapphire crystal. But, that's why this one is just, like I said, just a tad more expensive. But, nonetheless, still earns its right in the Presage collection and is extremely, extremely beautiful. There's a couple of other enamel dial watches on our website, some a little more complicated, some very similar to this one. But let's go to the last one, which you have already seen in another video. So here is model SRPB41, and this is a USA Presage release. This was part of the Presage releases earlier this summer, in the summer of 2017. And it still holds its place as one of the better-selling Seiko releases of the year. It might be one of the best-selling. It's a little bit different than its brothers, being a USA market or a non-Japanese or non-international model. It retains a 4R35 movement, which I know a lot of people poo-poo a bit, and they're not happy with it, but it makes up for it in looks. This would be considered cocktail time inspired, and that's what my other video is all about. You can see on the bottom of the dial, it still is made in Japan. Hand winding, automatic hacking movement, polished stainless steel case, 40.5, same size, it's very similar, around 12 millimeters thick this time. See-through case back. The crystal on the front is hardlex, so it's not AR sapphire, it's hardlex, and a regular a decent bracelet. Now, because I already showed this one, I'm not going to go into super detail. I mean, I will pull on the dial just because I love that blue. And then you can see the blue. It kind of changes. It's sunburst. really does a beautiful job. Look at the hands, the finishing on the hands, almost Grand Seiko-ish in the finishing of the hands. The beveling on the edges is, perfect. Ditto on the markers. Everything is done, everything is done extremely well. Don't mind the date being halfway through. It's going through its date change cycle. There you go. But what I wanted to do to this one is something I think a lot of you might want to do. You might consider this to be, your go-to dress watch, but you aren't happy with the bracelet. So I'm going to switch it up a bit. I'm going to put on a leather strap, and I want to show you what it will look like. So because the watch is a nice watch and decently expensive, the one I showed you is around a little over $400 on the retail. We sell it for around $340 or $350. I wanted to put a strap befitting of the quality of the watch. This is one of our genuine crocodile straps made by a company called Toscana, handmade in Italy. It's a gorgeous strap. Comes in a couple of different colors, finishes: cognac, brown, tan, black. They make a whole bunch of them, but I thought that this would just be awesome. So let's give me a second. I'll put this on, and then we're definitely going to put it on the wrist and take a look. I think maybe I'll put this on the wrist and just one of the other ones at the end, just so you can kind of get a feel for it. But if you have a normal, whatever normal size wrist, it'll be fine. None of these are ostentatiously large or teeny weeny small. So there she is. That's what she looks like on the strap. Gorgeous. Wow. I can just imagine what this is going to look like on the wrist. It's going to be insane, I'm sure. So let's put it on and check out how it looks. And there it is. Oh, man, the blue with the brown. What a play. Is that a power play? Oh my goodness. Try to get it a little bit better lighting for the camera. The lights are killing me here. But wow, just look at the way that the two play off each other. I mean, I love it. I think that this is a watch that they should have put on a leather strap. Maybe they didn't have to put it on, a brown strap like this one, but they could have put it on the, one of the patent leather straps that are so famous in the Presage lineup. They opted for the bracelet. What are you going to do? But, here's one of your options, if you want. I think this one is total killer. The strap is really nice. It's it's a high dollar strap. It's under $100, but for Croc that's a good price. But even you just put a $20 brown leather strap on it if you want, and elevates it to notches unknown for sure. And for my other wrist shot, I'll put on one of the SPB. I forget, this is the 061 or the 063, but the white dial, the simple one with the 6R15. They all are going to fit the same, 41 millimeters in diameter, 47, 48 tip to tip. They all fit great on a variety of wrists. My wrists are 6 3/4 for reference, but being dress watches, they're not. I don't think they're too large. I mean, I guess it's not a mid-size from the 70s or 80s at 34, 35 millimeters, but definitely a nice size modern day dress watch. Look at that dial. I mean, look at it come to life. Man, that's a looker. So let's finish up the video. So this has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com showing you some Seiko Presage watches. Not just cocktail time watches like the one in the foreground here. Some nice other alternatives. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below, and I'll be sure to address them as soon as I can. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.